Good morning, neighbors, or good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. June Margolin from Huntington Matters. We are here with our next installment of our candidate interviews for the election 2025 for the town of Huntington. And behind the camera, I have Dana Richter, our vice president, who's monitoring the video. And in the next room is Diane Shaber, who's monitoring the audio. And we also have Megan, our moderator, joining us today as well. We are very privileged and honored. Thank you so much that Legislator Stephanie Bontempi decided to join us today and sit with us and help us all get to know you a little bit better.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for organizing these little interviews. Now, how many years is it?
10 years.
Of candidate interviews?
10 years, yeah.
Oh, wow. See, I wouldn't even know because I don't believe that I had watched any prior to being involved in office myself, but this is amazing. This is really great.
Oh, by the way, if you see them flailing wildly, it's about me, not you. They're trying to shut me up.
Oh.
So it's like that. So in 2014, when we formed, non-presidential elections was a 19% voter turnout for the town of Huntington. Doesn't surprise you, right?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Now it's 35.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So that's why we keep doing it.
That's fantastic.
Because it matters.
It
and
does.
Because in 2014, when we formed the town board, if you look at it, it was completely full of people that had been there at least a decade, 12 years, 15, 20 years, right over and over again. And the community felt really disconnected from their voice, or even not even realizing that they had a voice or a say with their vote or any. And now look at the town board. Look at the evolution. How it's changed. We have term limits. We have the seats have turned over multiple times. We have regular neighbors stepping up from the school district, from the local commerce that are running instead of all attorneys. And lifelong family, politically ingrained, which is what it was. So it's, neighbors need to know that, your every single vote matters. And personally, I vote person, not party, and that's it. So now I got
so to your point about you have regular citizens who can run for office and represent us. So I consider myself one of those, right? I'm not an attorney, which tends to be, I shouldn't say that it's always the case, but it tends to be a lot of attorneys that are involved in public office. When I first decided to run, living in the community, raising children, being a homeowner, all these things, there were things I did not particularly agree with. And I felt like those representing me were not really me.
Yeah.
So what I believe, has been great, and what I think has been successful is that I'm a woman. We also need maybe a little more women involved. A mother, raised 3 children. I'm an immigrant, a homeowner, dealing with all the issues about affordability and all of those things. So I do believe that I represent a large portion of the people in Suffolk County and can relate.
And what was your career before you?
So I was a teacher. So I was absolutely not an attorney. I do have 2 attorneys, though. 2 of my children are attorneys now.
There's nothing wrong with being an attorney.
No, absolutely not.
It makes sense for public service because of all of the legislation
and
the legalese, and they can
absolutely.
So not dissing any.
No, not at all.
It's definitely it's a much more vibrant representation of our community.
Absolutely.
When you have diversity of occupation.
Absolutely,
and I thank you for stepping forward.
Oh no, it's been
life altering.
It's been crazy.
Yeah,
and another thing I want to add is that when I first ran for office, I made I made sure to explain that I would take this on full time. And a lot of people in public office don't do it full time.
Right, it's not a requirement.
Yeah, it's not a requirement. There are certain hour requirements, and those are really full time. But you can. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. I'm here full time, and this is the only thing my focus is on. So I'm not focusing on big deals and contracts and consulting jobs and other things on the side.
Gotcha. Very good. All right, so did we cover the first question? Tell us about yourself and why you decided to step forward to serve our community as the Suffolk County
Yeah,
Legislator.
I think that's pretty much it.
That's good.
Yeah.
What have you accomplished in your elected position or work experience that you are the most proud of that directly benefits our community?
Oh, there are so many things. Yeah, no, but there are so many things. I think that I have been a strong advocate for our whole area, and I have not been shy. You know, I think that I have a side note. My husband always said to me when I first joined, he said, you know, Stephanie, if you had known what all of this entailed, would you really have done it? I'm like, I'm not sure. So I ask questions.
Yeah.
I am not shy. I'm not intimidated by somebody in higher office. I just, I'm just me. So I've been able to get a lot of funding to our district that, for various infrastructure projects, road improvements, a lot of stormwater, mitigation, coastal restoration. We have all our coastlines here in our districts,
And Stephanie's district is the North Shore
right.
of the town of Huntington. It's Pulaski Road North, right?
Pulaski, it goes all the way to the Smithtown line. And then it goes up to, I think, Cuba Hill, and then it goes up to Jericho Turnpike in the western part. It's a little,
Really she has all the coast.
But all the coast.
And you have Cold Spring Harbor too. Yep. So
Cold
basically
Spring.
you live on the North Shore.
Yeah.
Stephanie's your
It's a lot of coastal, yeah.
Sorry about that.
And then I'm happy that we were able to get the ballot proposal, last time around, so that we found a measure, a way to raise funding for the sewers and for the IA systems, because obviously that is extremely important in Suffolk County, period. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of, I strengthened the animal abuse law. That was something that I sponsored, because there were some loopholes there. I just sponsored, and it was passed. I don't believe, maybe the county executive hasn't signed it yet, the vaping legislation. That is to curtail vaping in our young people, because we all know that all of those things lead to, or very often lead to more drug use and stronger stuff. So I'm excited about that. I don't know, Caitlin, can we think of any? I mean, it's been so much.
Traffic improvements.
Yeah, traffic improvements, yes. I mean, we have very dangerous roads around here, right? And we hear about it all the time. And let me make a note, though. In my opinion, I believe a lot of the issues are the legalization of cannabis, which came from the state, because how many of us don't smell it when we drive?
Correct.
So that adds to the unsafe roads, and then just our drinking and driving laws in general. I come from a culture where you never had even a glass of wine and drove.
Wow.
I mean, super strict, zero. And then you're here, and there's so much abuse. There really is.
Yeah.
People get away with it, but that so. But yes, so we have done some things to narrow certain roads. Park Avenue, we are putting in new sidewalks. And
Down
some
by
new
the
lights.
village, right?
Yeah, all the way up to Pulaski Road. Is it up Pulaski Road?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
To
great for the neighbors.
yes,
The whole
yeah, all the way up. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I mean, it's that big stretch. Yes, and the curbs and more lights.
Because that's not a walkable
No, it's not.
road at all.
That was
No.
actually one of my questions.
Great.
Yeah.
We have quite a bit that touches on your district for
And
sure.
and another one is the light Broadway Pulaski Road. I don't know if you're familiar with that
Yes.
one. When you come down Broadway, so there's a left turn signal there right now. That was something that was initiated in our office. Took 3 years to complete.
Yeah.
That was a death
Yeah.
trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Good Good job. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So what do you have to say to disengaged voters who think their vote doesn't matter, and how will you inspire them to get to the polls? We were talking about this earlier.
Right. I think first of all, I think social media is important. I think what you ladies are doing is amazing. And I think by us being engaged and coming and being interviewed too is important. I also think I've done a lot of canvassing, as part of being out in the community. I've been knocking on doors since June, and I have great conversations at the doors, and I say, you need to come out and vote, and it's been a very positive, it's been very positive, but once in a while I get somebody who doesn't really agree with me, or doesn't, they care more about the party denomination than what the person has actually done. And then I say, well, listen, you may not agree with me, that's fine, but you should cast a vote. You should try to go and inform yourself and cast a vote, and especially in local elections.
Yeah, this is
what really, really matters, truly.
This is where your day-to-day
yes,
is.
Absolutely. And I think that's really it. It's word of mouth mostly, because people are so busy. Everyone is trying to survive, right? So,
I mean, two families, both parents working. And it's challenging. And then the kids with the schedule.
Oh, yeah. And then you might have elderly parents you have to care for too. So it's tough. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right. The next one is Megan's question over here. It's a fabulous question. It's the magic wand question. If you could guarantee to get exactly what you want right away, what is something you would fix or improve in the town of Huntington? And what is something you never want to make changes to?
So in the town of Huntington, I would like to get more infrastructure dollars. We need to improve upon, again, we have flooding issues here. So that is something I wish we could get much more money for. Improve our roads, get the sewers in, hurry up with the sewers already, because that will be
you're talking about the Huntington Station
the Huntington Station sewers.
How does that impact your area?
Well, that's part of it. And I mean, it all intertwines, right? It brings economic development to the area, brings jobs, hopefully a little bit more housing. And again, in the proper areas, right, that are where it's suitable. And that's just part of affordability and everything.
Great to hear you guys work.
No, absolutely. Oh,
yes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we take votes for the entire county, right? So it's not just Huntington. Now, what I don't want to change in the town of Huntington, because that's what the constituents, in my particular district, I don't want it to be overdeveloped. But these are terms that people get confused with, right? Right. So obviously everyone moved out here because there's a certain quality of life and the suburban, feel. So we can't be plopping apartment buildings everywhere, but we could certainly, do a little bit more than although we have done a lot. And I mean, you have Matinacock that was approved by the former town board. And let me make something clear. As a county legislator, I really have very little say. I mean, zoning is a town issue, right? So we can't decide where development will, be built, really. But we can provide assistance once approvals have been made, for funding, for
incentivizing.
Right. Oh, incentivizing, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's where I think you guys.
Some tax breaks.
Yeah.
And some incentives for businesses, especially to come to Huntington. Right?
Yeah, that's great. All right, awesome. What is the job description of a Suffolk County legislator, and what is the legislature as a whole responsible for?
So what we're responsible for is really the county budget and funding the various departments. So that's the police department, the sheriff's department, the health department, social services, roads. I mean, it's a lot of big departments that run the county. And then to pass legislation, propose and pass legislation that will benefit, that's the key thing, our residents. And many of these pieces of legislation, they come from the residents. It's not like I sit there and like, oh, let me think of something good. No, it's based on conversations we have when we're out there and we talk to our constituents. That's how the vaping legislation came about.
Right.
I was contacted for probably 2 years now when I've been involved with the addiction community, and fortunately, my family has not been afflicted, but I have friends and a lot of people have. So that was something I felt very strongly about. And this is just a little measure there. Hopefully,
Very impactful, though. It
Yeah.
really is. It's very
Thanks.
impactful. Very excited to see Oasis was closed down in Northport.
Oh, yeah.
And quite a few have vacant storefronts, which is
Yeah.
a good thing.
And I have to give a shout out to Caitlin, who's sitting over there. She was instrumental in work on this, really. Did a lot of research
Thank
and
you,
a lot of research, yeah.
All right, great. So what legislation or initiatives have you sponsored that was adopted, if we touched on them? I think
Right, we did, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. And then, Proposition 2.
Yes,
Tell us about this year's Suffolk County Proposition 2. It's where you have to turn your ballot over,
Yeah.
and there's 2 propositions that you need to weigh in on, and Proposition 2 specific to Suffolk County and the legislature.
right. So a few things. First of all my colleagues are for it.
Mhm.
So it's a bipartisan effort at the county level, where Democrats, Conservatives, Republicans, we're all for it. So it's really, and first, another important point to make is that this is coming out of a new law from Albany that says that our elections should be moved to even years. So currently, you vote for county legislature in odd years. And you vote for president and governor and some of the other positions in even years. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that you don't want to confuse the voters. So like we said before, local issues are the more important, that you have direct impact on your everyday life, quickly have a direct impact. So all these issues, sewers, water quality, roads, business incentives, whatever it might be, health department. But those are not federal issues, right? The federal issues are gun rights, or abortion rights, immigration issues. So those are just going to overshadow all of our local issues.
Yeah.
So again, Proposition 2 is in response to what has been really shoved down our throats, I would say. So I'm a big proponent of vote yes for Proposition 2. What it's going to do, it's going to allow us to, so the way it is set up now is we're running for office this year, and then we're supposed to run next year again. Now, because we have to get to that even cycle, right? Even year cycle. Now, how does that make sense for the taxpayers?
Yeah.
Because you have to campaign. Let's not be silly. I mean, believe me, I do my day job, but then you have to still spend time campaigning.
Yeah.
So it's not fair to the taxpayers. You elect somebody, and you actually elect somebody for a 2-year term. But in fact, no,
You
get a 1-year term.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many bad things about this new law.
Yeah.
That we have to run in even years. Can you imagine the length of the ballot?
Well, can you
Yeah,
imagine
we're
our schedule of interviewing
Yeah.
candidates? We'll have 36
Oh, yeah, no,
candidates.
forget it. Yeah. No, it's
I don't
crazy.
know how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And the length of the ballot, you're going to have every single candidate, and people are going to vote
And
for
the judges.
president and the judges. And then people are going to there's going to be voter fatigue.
Yeah.
Voter fatigue. People won't even vote. And it's not like it's going to cost the taxpayers less, because you're going to have special elections in between, and you still have to vote for a district attorney. You still have to vote for sheriff. Those elections remain in odd years. So you're still going to have elections. So the argument that it's going to save taxpayers money is not, it's just not good. So,
So if they vote yes, they get you guys for 4 years.
oh, so that's another,
Right.
well, again, that was not the original intent
Right.
with this. But yes, if that's the case, we get 4-year terms. But let's make another thing clear. The limit is 12 years total, right? And that was one of my first pieces of legislation. I closed a loophole in the 12-year term limit law, whereas it didn't specify that if they weren't consecutive, you could actually come back, right?
You mean like what's happening in the town?
Yeah. So now it doesn't matter whether you serve consecutive years or not. When you reach 12 years total, that's it. You cannot run anymore.
Right.
But that wasn't specified. So Legislator Mazzarella and I closed that loophole. So I'm a firm believer in term limits.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't change the maximum amount of years in office. It would just make it 4-year terms instead of 2-year terms.
Yeah.
Which also is a savings.
Yeah.
You know,
more
plus more productive. And I have a perfect example in my office. So that traffic light, Pulaski Road and Broadway, that we were able to get through now finally. That took 3 years. 3 years to get done. You know, nothing, and think of it another way. When you are new in a position, any type of job that you might start, you need time to learn the job. You need time to get to know the players. You need time to build relationships, because it's all about relationships. And in this particular job, it wouldn't even be fair, again, to the taxpayers to switch every 2 years. You really need someone to have a 4-year term to get a chance to really show people. And look at town board. Town board is 4 years.
Yeah, everything else is
4 years.
All right, great. So we've heard a lot about the sewers in Huntington Station, which very excited about. What does that mean for the rest of us who aren't getting hooked up? How can it help us?
Well, it helps everyone because it brings economic development to the area, right? So whether you live along the stretch that will be hooked up or not, you live 2-3 blocks away, it will bring, jobs, it will bring development, it will bring, development as far as small businesses, improvements, exactly.
Right, like maybe we can get, a dry cleaner close by.
Right, and it will help the businesses that are currently here.
Yeah.
So again, it brings economic.
Maybe we can get a Huntington Matters office.
Maybe, yes.
You should be one of those angel investors.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, so housing and development. This is our #1 question submitted. What can the candidates do to bring in more workforce and actually affordable housing for our graduates and seniors? What can our legislators do to encourage developers to build for this underserved group? So actually means that even the HUD affordable housing formula, it's still too expensive for a lot of the population. So
on that point, that's something that we have and we can continue advocating with our state representatives and our federal representatives, how that formula is really not a fair, it doesn't really work here.
And they have to rename it because it's stupid.
I agree. Because
affordable is subjective.
Yes, it's so
discounted housing, workforce housing. Like
I don't know.
Change the name. It's going to be you, Stephanie.
No, but you're right. We need to, because in every term there has some kind of bias that comes with it, right? People don't like, I don't know what, we need a positive word. I don't know what I can. So that's one thing. And then it's really, again, I come back to the towns, right? It's zoning. It really is zoning. What we can do is we can, of course, help fund, advocate for grants from the federal government, because again, we need infrastructure improvements if we're going to build more housing. And the county actually has done a lot. We have approved a lot of funding, allocated a lot of funding for various affordable or workforce housing projects around the county. So anyone who has followed what we've done a lot of it.
Yeah,
Um,
very good.
and we need to do some more. But again, back to, you have to pick the right area, usually close to transit, right? And
Right, and then something we recently learned that I actually mentioned to Rebecca in her interview is that I have a duplex, right? That's our family owns that. And we thought the town of Huntington did something to stop them being built, but Gail Lamberta let me know that it actually was the county that changed the requirements for having them has to be a minimum of a half-acre lot because of the water.
oh,
The
so
water credits. So that
okay, that's
has stopped
interesting.
that hyperlocal building where maybe a property
Okay.
owner could do their own duplex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay,
Instead
that's
of being a
something to
giant
look into.
developer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just,
Yeah.
that's an option. So
Caitlin, make a note, please.
putting it on your tissue.
Yes.
We'll put it on our radar.
All right, great. So here we go. Roadways again. This was Donna's question. Many major thoroughfares in Huntington, like Park Avenue, Deer Park Avenue, and Oakwood Road, are county roads that are extremely congested at rush hour. What can be done to alleviate traffic congestion, improve pedestrian safety, especially near schools, and maintain the conditions of these roads that our community uses daily? And we did touch on that.
Yeah, we
If you
touched
wanted
upon
to
that,
discuss on that.
and we have the most mileage, right? Lane mileage here. We've heard it before, and we just don't get our fair share of money from.
Oh, do
Albany.
we really? We have the most lane
Yes,
mileage?
right here
In the county?
in Suffolk County. Yes,
Oh,
Fun fact.
yes.
Look
Fun
at
fact.
that.
Yes,
you
yes.
heard it here first.
Yeah, and our county executive Romaine is shares that information all the time when we just don't get our share of dollars.
Yeah.
So we need to advocate for more money from Albany, and which we are, and it's coming, but we need more. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we have done a lot to improve road safety on Park Avenue. I believe they're going to begin the work in the spring of 26. So it's actually coming
great.
soon. Yeah.
That's great.
For better sidewalks and lights. And again, back to the
That'll make a big difference.
yeah, that will make a big difference. Stormwater runoff is an issue, obviously.
Yeah.
We were able to get funding, my office, to help. There's an area in Cold Spring Harbor, Turkey Lane, that's right by the high school.
Yes.
We were able to secure funding for improvements there, stormwater runoff, and for improvements for, there was a big concern because of the high schoolers that come out of high school and there were really no sidewalks, or they're choppy and they're not continuous all the way down to town. What was the other part of the question?
Roads rush hour dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Alleviate congestion, improve pedestrian safety, check. Maintain the conditions of these roads that our community uses daily. Bring in more money.
More money. We
More
need
money,
more
more
money.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more money.
All right, economic development and job growth. Suffolk County has been experiencing a brain drain over the past few decades because of the high cost of living. What can be done to bring businesses back to Suffolk County so we can grow our community? And brain drain means that our youth that have been educated here are ending up leaving the area because they can't afford to stay here, because maybe the job opportunities don't pay enough to do the cost of living that we have, et cetera. It's a multi-layered issue, but the businesses are a big part of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I two of my children left. One is in Charlotte, North Carolina, one's in Chicago. So I live that, right, with two children, and they have good jobs, but again, it doesn't even matter because you just can't afford to live here. So, it goes back to infrastructure dollars, right? We come back to the same answer, but that's it. That's the most important thing. We need to upgrade our roads, our infrastructure. That way we will be able to build more housing, again, in the appropriate areas.
Right.
And with all of that come jobs also, right? So it's kind of, it's a continuum, all of it.
Because the employers need the workforce.
Exactly. And then we had a big project, Midway Crossing. I don't know if you have heard this. No, it was an area around Ronkonkoma train station. So that has kind of been put on hold a little bit, I believe. But the plan there was to bring in a convention center, a a big, to try to get a lot of STEM into the area,
Right.
because the healthcare field and science, high paying jobs.
Yeah.
So we need to do all these things. We need to incentivize businesses also, so give them some tax breaks. That's where the IDAs come in as well, right? I know the IDAs get a lot of bad publicity often, but if managed properly,
That's
it. Yeah,
If
exactly.
managed
If managed
properly,
properly, they can actually help
Make a
businesses and
difference,
make a
yeah.
big difference.
Yeah. Okay, great. We all recognize that the economy as well as competition from the digital world has been tough on local mom and pop businesses. What would you do to help them through these tough times?
I think one thing we can do, and I think we do a pretty good job at that, and the town officials also, is to highlight them. Go visit, give them proclamations or certificates, and just make sure that people know that they're there.
That's great.
I think that's one of the reasons we love living where we live too, right? With the little stores.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine if there were no stores anywhere, you had to buy everything online?
Yeah.
There's something sweet and nice and
they're your neighbors.
yeah, they're your neighbors, exactly. And that's what we must not forget, that our neighbors and our friends and our family members can only thrive if there are job opportunities.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So we have to try to be as business friendly as possible. So I think one thing is definitely to highlight them, and then to shop there.
Yeah.
Yeah. To shop there.
Shop local.
Yes,
local,
shop local, absolutely. And then, highlight them, and also, on our website, on the Suffolk County website, we try to have stories and, just make sure that
Your newsletter. Right?
newsletters, of course, newsletters. Yeah,
Sign up
absolutely.
for her newsletter.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Crime and public safety, as you know very well, Huntington Matters Neighborhood Watch celebrated 11 years last week. Yay!
Yay!
What public safety priorities do you have, and how would you work with other layers of government to achieve them?
So I think the priorities have always been to make our neighborhoods as safe as possible, right? So that you feel safe taking your dog out for a walk. You feel safe having your child wait for the school bus or get off the school bus. Safe in your house or your home and not be burglarized. I believe we've done a really good job, meaning our law enforcement. We've been able to hire more police officers. Now, finally, we're going to be able to. So we've done a great job as a legislature to allocate funding and hire more law enforcement. I also believe that groups like, our community groups, you're part of one of those, the the
precinct level advisory board.
Right,
Huntington
right.
Matters formed because of the crime and safety.
Yeah.
Our town at one time was not.
It
policed
wasn't.
equitably.
Exactly. And those things are so
now it is.
important.
Thank you.
So I think we have a great relationship with our police department, and then other things like, the vaping legislation. That ties into safety. The animal abuse legislation ties into safety. We have something we're working on right now with one of my colleagues. It's the sex trafficking.
Ooh,
and
we want to hear about that.
yeah,
Big
so
time.
it's still in the working stages, but that ties into the massage parlors.
Correct.
Yes, that we had talked
Correct.
about. We actually met with the director of the sex trafficking unit. Is that? No,
The man.
the man, yes.
The man, yeah.
Jimmy Johnson, yeah.
He just did a presentation at. You were there.
No, I wanted to come.
Oh, okay. The conflicts, yeah.
Yeah. So we met, I think, last week or the week
huge.
before.
That's really big because it also dovetails into this whole other thing where they're trapped. The
Right,
workers
exactly.
Are not there
Yeah.
voluntarily.
Yeah.
Entirely. Sometimes.
So,
they are, but
yeah.
for the most part now.
But so that was very informative. And my colleague, Chad Lennon, who is, has been working on this for a while too. So we need the election to be over because, we have interviews. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But we have a meeting set up right at, I think next week, where we're going to start drafting legislation.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about that. And we're going to work with the towns, obviously, because it's not something we can do on our own. We need
And
to
it's
work.
good because it's like, even though these are like little pocket situations, the vape shop, that it's actually, you get that legislation in place and then you're preventing future things from.
Of course.
From being predators in the community.
Absolutely.
And preying on us in an unhealthy way.
Absolutely.
So
And
it's
then,
good to take the word.
I'm sorry to talk over you,
No, go ahead,
June, I'm
please
sorry.
do.
And then now, because I'm thinking, because we really have been busy, we've done a lot. We also were able to get Shot Spotter back,
Yes.
which has been, great
Yeah.
also.
We picked up the big shootout.
Yes.
And
So,
you're working on the ATV legislation.
oh, the ATV legislation as well.
what is
Yes.
this?
Yes.
On the roads?
Yes, so the current legislation is not, again, we need to close it, and
Yeah.
there are some loopholes here and there, and yes, and you see these people just driving on the
Mhm.
sidewalks, knocking people over, basically, and no helmets and nothing, so,
Does this
yeah.
include the e-bikes and
Yes.
e-scooters too?
Yeah,
Excellent,
yes,
excellent,
yes.
because they're
Yeah.
they high speed.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
we're
great.
working on that.
Thank you for that.
That's going to be laid on the table, I think, at our next general meeting, I believe.
I think it was at the last.
Oh, it was laid on the table. It goes through committee, but it's already drafted and kind of going through the process.
That's great. All right, we have three questions left, and we are at our last 10 minutes. So if you want to, 5 minutes, take a look. I don't mind going 5 minutes over now because I chatted a lot. Take a look at which one of these you'd like to answer.
Well, maybe
You
I
can
can
take
try to
your time.
answer all if I can go fast. I don't
Sure.
know. Let's see. So environmental stewardship and county parks. I'm very excited so there are two beautiful parks in Suffolk County, or in this district in LD 18. So two of the premier Gold Coast mansions, the Vanderbilt Museum and Quandary Hall Park. So I have been able to advocate for funding. So in the capital program, we have funding to restore Quandary Hall completely.
Incredible. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Incredible. The
As-
whole hall.
The whole
building. The boathouse.
the whole boathouse.
Okay.
Restore the whole boathouse. The seawall was completed. They're
Mhm.
currently working on the pier. I think they're starting soon. They have the machinery down there already to restore the pier. And today, as a matter of fact, after we're done here, we're going to shoot over there because they are repaving the whole back parking lot and the entrance, the whole entranceway.
Oh, that was
Right.
Yeah.
So, because that was in terrible despair. But again, this came because I asked for funding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
just happen.
Right.
I had to ask and beg and
Right.
just say, so now we have the funding. But then on top of that, you have to ensure that the funding stays in place. That's another reason for a 4-year term.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could have someone else come in after 2 years who maybe, Quandary Hall, I don't know, historic property, I don't care about that,
Yeah.
And to them, for whatever reason, it's not that important.
Right.
I've listened to the constituents. They want us to restore this park and it needs to be a public space that, the whole county, whomever wants to come and enjoy it, but not to turn it into some commercial,
Right.
And it's not going to be that. It's going to be. So that's, again, another reason for, the 4-year term to be able to see a project through.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And the Vanderbilt Museum, same thing, was able to get a lot of funding put into the capital program we're hoping to turn the whole waterfront there into a beautiful boardwalk.
Wow.
Yes.
What a great addition.
Because right now,
Look how proud she is. She loves her house. That's great.
Caitlin is so fantastic. You know what? I couldn't do any of this if it weren't for the people in my office.
Mhm.
Caitlin has been with me since day one. Day one. She didn't know anything about government. Neither did I. We learned together.
That's so
And
great.
we have not been shy about asking for help
Yeah.
and asking questions where you're like, okay, I probably sound dumb now, but you know what? There are no dumb questions. When I
Right,
was
exactly.
a teacher,
Yeah.
that's,
Gotta ask.
you got to ask.
And we, even you as a teacher, we're just not taught all the
Right.
layers of civics. We're
No,
just not.
we're not.
And there's
We're
so
not.
much to learn.
There's so, and you can, as
Yeah.
long as you just go and look up the information
Right.
and look up, that's why these, and this is a very nice conversation. We're just chatting, right?
Yeah.
So this is nice. But when there have been a few through the years where it's like a debate and it's more like a gotcha kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
If you don't have the answer, you'll figure out the answer
Right.
and you'll
Exactly.
research and you'll do, what you
Yeah.
need to do.
Yeah. Elections are just different nowadays
Yeah.
than they were back then, where
Yeah.
you just had those little sound bites.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. And then, so this last one ties into my off-camera question that I'll ask as soon as the cameras go. Now, my alert system.
Oh, yes.
How
you're-
would you take advantage of technology and new communication strategies to increase transparency in county government and make it easier for busy residents to stay informed and participate in the decision-making process? I got you guys, don't worry. I've had to wait my turn.
Well, there are some alert systems, right,
Yes.
that the county has in
Yes.
place. So, and I know that we had, listen, I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment.
No, well, we had to put a pause because which is absolutely valid and should be done. The Eastern End's police
911.
departments are being added to the 911 system. So when that was done, then we could resume the conversation. By the way, they cut the price in half. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's much more reasonable now.
Yeah. So I think in talking to law enforcement and first responder, the one thing that has come up is that you have to be a little bit careful with how much information
Very
you give
much
to the
so.
general public,
Yes.
right? Because you can create more harm than good.
100%.
So I think that's maybe something that's a little difficult to manage. But
Yeah.
listen,
And they could control all of it.
yeah, and listen, I'm more than happy to have further conversations about
Yeah.
this. But again, ultimately, I'm not the decision maker, but
Right.
we can
right.
definitely.
Yeah.
So what was it? That
So
was the
you-
deadline? It had to
yeah.
be, no, not the deadline, but what was the mile maker or mile marker?
The the eastern towns and villages were going to be added to the 911 system. So when that's done, and I think
And
it's
do we
not
have a time?
100% done.
Okay.
That's, if you guys could let me know on that, that'd be great. I think we're close. I think we're close.
Do you mind writing that down too, please?
Yeah, there may be like a slight funding issue for the
Yeah.
last town that maybe, and then we can get something that'll help the whole county.
But you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
I mean, you are out there.
Oh, yeah.
How are you out there all the time? Like,
We don't know.
We
how
don't
are
do
you always
anything-
there?
We don't do anything else, and we work 7 days a week, truly, honestly, serving our
Yeah.
community. And then we a little over 2 years ago, we quit our day jobs, and this is what we do full time, and we're trying to make a
So
living out of it.
how are you? So advertisements? How are
really
you?
advertising, yep. And we have a website with a magazine and our community calendar, so we have display advertising opportunities. And then in our social media, we also have advertising posts that are set aside for weekday posts. We have 10 spots that we sell advertising to, and then we have a directory on our website as well, where you can subscribe. That's getting a little bit of an overhaul at the moment.
Okay.
But
Because I'm
yeah.
trying to think if there are funding opportunities, but maybe we'll take that conversation.
Yeah, we can.
Camera.
You know,
I don't know.
We're not a
Yeah.
nonprofit, and that was from day one, and it actually has worked out pretty well for us
Yeah.
because we can't be bought,
Yeah.
which is nice. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for hanging with us. We'll chat more off camera. So if you want to learn all the inside details, join us as a moderator. We are currently looking for volunteer moderators, right, Megan? Anyway, definitely go out and vote election day in person, November 4th. And then we have early voting that already started on
Yes,
Saturday.
yes.
That goes till November 2nd. And sorry, I gave misinformation on the prior videos. There are 3 voting locations, not 2. Greenlawn Fire Department, Dix Hills Fire Department, and Huntington Public Library Station Branch. right?
Yes, the one on New York Avenue.
Yeah.
Go
Yes.
vote, every voice counts. Thanks, neighbors.